All right, so, you're dedicated to staying in shape past 50, which is awesome. But you're also smart enough to know your body isn't what it was back in your 20s.
Right.
And that's exactly why you sent us this YouTube video.
Yeah.
This physiotherapist who specializes in over 50s fitness, he's calling out some common exercises that could be doing more harm than good for us seasoned athletes.
Yeah, he makes some really compelling points.
Yeah.
It's almost like those classic moves we've been doing for years. They turn into these sneaky little traps as we age.
Okay, so first up on the danger list is the upright row. Remind me, how does that one go again?
So the upright row, it's where you're holding a barbell or weights in front of you, palms facing your body,
Right.
and you pull it straight up towards your chin.
Right. Seems straightforward enough. Where's the danger in that?
Well, that upward pulling motion, it forces your shoulder into what's called the Hawkins-Kennedy position.
Okay.
And what's fascinating is doctors actually use this position to test for rotator cuff issues.
Hold on. So we're basically mimicking a test for injury every time we do this exercise.
Yeah.
That's not exactly reassuring.
Not really. And think about it. As we get older, those tendons in our shoulders, the ones that make up the rotator cuff, they're not as resilient as they used to be.
Right.
So doing upright rows, especially with heavy weights, could be setting you up for a tear.
So it's like we're adding insult to injury, literally. What would be a safer way to build shoulder strength without risking a trip to the orthopedic surgeon?
Well, there are a few great options. Lateral raises, where you lift the weights out to the sides. They're much easier on the shoulder joint.
Okay.
Same with front raises, where you lift straight out in front of you.
Got it. So we're swapping a risky move for a couple that target the same muscles, but without all that added stress on the rotator cuff.
Exactly.
Smart move. Speaking of exercises that seem harmless, but can cause trouble, let's talk about back extensions.
Okay.
I'm picturing lying face down, lifting your upper body off the ground. Isn't that supposed to be good for you?
Here's the thing. While it seems like a classic back strengthener, it can put a lot of strain on your lower back, especially if you're already dealing with some age-related wear and tear.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, most of us have a few aches and pains down there after 50.
Exactly. And the physio in the video pointed out something that's really interesting.
Okay.
A lot of people go overboard with back extensions, doing tons of reps, which can actually lead to chronically tight paraspinal muscles.
Paraspinal muscles. Refresh my memory. Where are those again?
They're the muscles that run along your spine,
Okay.
and they're crucial for keeping you upright. But when they get too tight, it can trigger those painful spasms and backaches that just won't quit.
Ouch. I can relate to that. So if you have any arthritis in your lower back, back extensions are basically a recipe for disaster.
It's definitely a risk you don't want to take.
Okay, so how do we keep our backs strong and mobile without all that strain?
He recommends the cobra pose, which you might know from yoga.
Interesting. I always thought of that more as a stretch than a strengthener.
Yeah, that's the key difference.
Okay.
With the cobra, you're engaging your arm muscles to lift your chest, not relying on your back muscles to do all the work.
Right.
It's all about mobility, without putting pressure on those vulnerable spots in your lower back.
It's almost ironic. We often think we're strengthening our backs with these exercises, but for many people over 50, they're actually accelerating wear and tear. Okay, what else is on the avoid after 50 list?
Well, this one might surprise you. Crunches.
Crunches.
Yeah.
But aren't those like the holy grail of core strength? I mean, who doesn't want a six-pack?
I know it seems counterintuitive.
Right.
But the truth is, those rapid, repetitive crunching motions, they put a ton of stress on the discs in your spine.
Yeah.
Those little cushions between your vertebrae.
Right.
And as we get older, those discs aren't as plump and resilient as they used to be.
So if I'm feeling that familiar twinge in my back during a set of crunches, that's my body screaming for mercy.
It could be a sign that you're doing more harm than good. And here's another fascinating insight from the video. He pointed out that the six-pack muscle, the rectus abdominis, isn't as crucial for lower back health as other core muscles.
So we're busting out the crunches for a six-pack, but we might be neglecting the muscles that actually matter for a healthy back. I'll admit, I've been doing crunches for years, thinking they were the key to a strong core. Now I'm realizing I might have been doing more harm than good.
It's a common misconception.
Yeah.
But luckily, there are better ways to build core strength without all that spinal stress.
Right, Spillet. What should we be doing instead?
Think about exercises that engage those deeper core muscles, the ones that provide stability without all the spinal bending.
Okay.
Planks, for example, are a great alternative. You're holding yourself in a straight line, engaging your core without putting any pressure on your spine.
Planks, huh? I can see how those would be a good alternative. You're engaging your core without that repetitive spinal flexion we talked about. What else is on the list of exercises to ditch after 50?
Let's talk about the behind-the-neck press. That's where you lift a barbell from behind your head, up over your head and back down.
Yeah, I've seen that one at the gym. What's the issue with it?
The biggest problem is that it requires a lot of lateral rotation in your shoulder.
Okay.
You need to be able to rotate your arm outward quite a bit to do this exercise correctly.
And I'm guessing our shoulders get a little less flexible as we age.
Exactly. As we get older, many of us lose some of that range of motion, especially if arthritis is a factor.
Right.
The physio demonstrated this in the video, and it was really eye-opening. If you don't have enough rotation, you end up contorting your neck and upper back to compensate, putting those joints at risk.
So if I'm feeling any strain or pain in my neck or shoulders during a behind-the-neck press, that's a sign I need to stop immediately.
Absolutely. It's your body telling you that something's not right.
Okay, so what's a safer way to work those same muscles without putting my neck and shoulders in a pretzel?
The in front of the neck press, also known as the military press, is a much better option. You're still lifting the weight overhead, but holding the barbell in front of you, which requires significantly less outward rotation.
Makes sense. So we're ditching the behind-the-neck press in favor of a move that's more joint-friendly.
Okay, last but not least, tell me about the final exercise on the avoid after 50 list.
This one might make you cringe a little. Neck rolls.
Oh, yeah.
You know that feeling of cracking and popping as you circle your head around?
Yeah, I've been guilty of that one myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just feels good to crack those neck joints.
Right.
But tell me, are they really that bad?
They might feel good in the moment, but here's the thing. Neck rolls involve a lot of twisting and grinding in those tiny facet joints in your neck.
And those joints, they've already been through a lot over the years, right?
Exactly, decades of wear and tear. So those seemingly harmless neck rolls can actually contribute to stiffness, soreness, and even injury, especially if your neck is already showing signs of aging.
Okay, you've officially convinced me to ditch the neck rolls. So what can we do instead to keep our necks mobile and pain-free? Instead of those big sweeping circles, stick to individual neck movements.
Oh.
Done slowly and with control.
Mm-hmm.
Gentle flexions, where you bring your chin to your chest.
Okay.
Extensions, where you look upwards.
Mm-hmm.
Side bends, where you bring your ear to your shoulder. And rotations, where you turn your head side to side.
So it's about isolating those movements instead of cramming them all together in one big crunchy motion.
That makes sense.
Oh.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Let's quickly recap what we've learned so far about those 5 exercises to avoid after 50.
Okay.
We've talked about upright rows back extensions, crunches, behind the neck presses, and neck rolls, and how those can be detrimental to our aging bodies.
Yep.
And for each of those exercises, we've explored some safer, more joint-friendly alternatives. It's all about finding ways to stay active and strong without pushing our bodies past their limits, right?
Absolutely. And remember, this is just a starting point. Everyone's body is different. So it's crucial to listen to your own body and consult with a healthcare or fitness professional before starting any new exercise program. So true. It's all about finding what works for you and making exercise a sustainable part of your life.
Exactly. And you know what I find really fascinating? This conversation about potentially harmful exercises. It has me thinking about something bigger, something we call functional fitness.
Functional fitness. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more. So tell me, what exactly is functional fitness? Is it like CrossFit for seniors or something?
Not exactly. Functional fitness is more about training your body for the movements you do in everyday life.
Okay.
So instead of focusing on isolated muscle groups, it's about working multiple muscle groups together, the way they naturally function when you're doing things like bending, lifting, reaching, or carrying.
So it's less about how much weight you can bench press and more about being able to easily get up from the floor or haul a bag of groceries up the stairs. Exactly.
It's about strength and mobility that you can actually use in your daily life. It's about being able to move freely and confidently without worrying about throwing your back out or pulling a muscle.
Yeah.
And thinking back to those exercises we talked about earlier, a lot of them are the opposite of functional.
Now that you mention it, I can see that. Like, when was the last time I needed to lift a barbell from behind my head in real life?
Right.
Probably never.
And crunches, they might give you a six-pack, but they don't really prepare you for the functional movements you need to do every day.
So what are some examples of functional exercises that I could incorporate into my routine? I'm really starting to see the value in this approach.
Well, instead of crunches, try planks. They strengthen your core without putting that unnecessary pressure on your spine. And instead of back extensions, try doing some bird dog exercises.
Okay.
They work those same back muscles, but in a much more stable and controlled way.
So it's about mimicking real-life movements in a safe and controlled environment.
Precisely. And the beauty of functional fitness is that you don't need a fancy gym or expensive equipment. You can do it at home with your own body weight, or with simple tools like resistance bands or stability balls.
That's great to hear. I'm all about keeping things simple and sustainable. And, this whole conversation about functional fitness really resonates with me. I think a lot of us, as we get older, we start to believe that our bodies are just destined to decline. It's like we're programmed to expect pain and limitations.
It's such a common misconception. But the truth is, aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can be a time of adaptation, resilience, and even growth in terms of our physical abilities.
That's so empowering. It's like we have the power to rewrite the script on aging, to redefine what's possible for our bodies.
Exactly. And functional fitness can play a huge role in that. By focusing on movements that matter, movements that support our daily lives, we can build strength, mobility, and confidence that carries over into everything we do.
I love that. So it's not just about exercising for the sake of exercising. It's about exercising with a purpose, with the intention of living a fuller, more active life.
That's the heart of it. And, when we talk about functional fitness, we can't forget about the mental aspect. Our mindset plays such a huge role in how we approach exercise and how we view our bodies as we age.
That's so true. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, well, I'm getting older, I'm supposed to slow down, or can't do the things I used to.
Those limiting beliefs can really hold us back. But the truth is, aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can be a time of continued growth and adaptation.
So how do we shift that mindset? How do we go from feeling limited by our age to feeling empowered by it?
I think it starts with challenging those negative thoughts. Instead of focusing on what you can't do anymore, celebrate what you can do. Focus on the progress you're making, no matter how small.
Yeah, that's such a good point. It's so easy to get caught up in those negative thoughts about aging. But like you said, if we shift our focus to what we can do, it changes everything.
Absolutely. And it's about, celebrating those victories, no matter how small they may seem. Maybe today you walked a little farther than you did yesterday, or you managed to lift that heavy grocery bag without any pain. Those are wins, right? And those wins, they build momentum and confidence.
So instead of dwelling on the past, we should be focusing on the present and celebrating those little victories along the way. I like that. It's like reframing our relationship with our bodies.
Yeah.
And with aging itself.
Exactly. And, another important aspect of that mental shift is letting go of the idea that exercise has to be about achieving some ideal body image.
Yeah, I think a lot of us fall into that trap, especially with all the images we see in the media. It's easy to get caught up in trying to look a certain way.
It is.
Yeah.
But you know what? Functional fitness isn't about aesthetics. It's about function. It's about feeling good in your body, about being able to move freely and do the things you love without limitations.
So it's about finding that intrinsic motivation, that joy in movement itself, rather than being driven by external pressures.
Precisely. And that joy, that sense of accomplishment, that's what keeps us coming back for more. That's what makes exercise a sustainable part of our lives, no matter what age we are.
So it's not about trying to turn back the clock or fit into some unrealistic mold. It's about embracing where we are right now and finding ways to move our bodies that feel good, that bring us joy, and that support the life we want to live.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I think this deep dive has given us a lot to think about. When it comes to staying fit and healthy after 50 day, we've debunked some myths about those potentially harmful exercises. We've explored the concept of functional fitness, and we've talked about the importance of cultivating a positive mindset around aging and exercise.
It's been a great conversation, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to challenge those preconceived notions about what's possible for their bodies as they age.
Me too, because the truth is, age is just a number. It's never too late to embrace a healthier, more active lifestyle. So to all our listeners out there, keep moving, keep exploring, and keep celebrating what your amazing bodies can do.
And remember, if you have any concerns or questions, always consult with your doctor or a qualified fitness professional before starting any new exercise program.
Great advice. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive for today. Until next time, stay curious and keep on moving.